Ladies and gentlemen, we are live. That's
Are
right.
we now?
Petey unfortunately left the keys to the kingdom in my disposal, so the witch is back, baby.
Yes. Against no will of my own and totally of my free will, I am now promoting Corione to captain of the Ryder Brothers to lead the ship from here on out. I have not been threatened. My family is safe. Well, anyway, we don't need to get into the files right now. That'll be for another broadcast.
I was going to say, and you're going to enjoy that, right?
Of course, I wanted this.
Enjoy that.
Oh, and we forgot to mention our title, Starfleet Academy. Darn it. Well, anyway.
Oh, well. All right, boys, let's dig in. Here we go. So I think it's important to mention because it is currently the top of the box office right now. Wuthering Heights prevails with 37.5 million domestic opening and 83 million globally. This has got Margot Robbie and Jacob Elrond's Valentine's Day / President's Day movie. It came in slightly behind expectations in North America, but earned enough to come out ahead of Goat, which had plenty to celebrate opening an estimated 35 million or more domestically. So Wuthering Heights is, of course, based on the book. It's a classic. It's a romance. It's not really our normal stuff we would cover, but it's now setting the pace for what we can expect on Valentine's Day / President's Day weekend. Gentlemen, your thoughts?
I've only heard good things, so I'm excited to see it when it finally reaches a streamer.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah, I mean, kind of with what Poyo says there. I mean, it looks like for streaming is what I'm going to be most excited for. So,
okay. All right, then let's move on because we have an awful lot to cover today. Okay, so this is kind of hilarious. You remember a little while ago, I think it was 2 years now, we had the Writers Guild go on strike because they were upset that there weren't minimum numbers of staffing inside writers' rooms. So the studio said, okay, we will only hire the minimum required number of staffers in writing rooms. Well, now the Writers Guild staff is going on strike against the Writers
Guild. So well.
Yeah.
Who would have thunk?
Yep. So this is the official notice here. Until further notice, the Writers Guild headquarters at 3rd and Fairfax will be closed to members and the public, including the Foundation, Library, and Member Lounge. Guild screenings at the Writers Guild Theater, committee meetings, panels, and educational events are also suspended. The member meetings previously scheduled, blah, blah, blah. So that's the official notice that they've, kind of reaped what they've sown, right? They led an absolutely disastrous strike, and now they're getting striked on in return, right?
Yeah.
I personally think this is great. Based on what I've read in Cameron's work and elsewhere, the staff is not treated nearly as well as they should be. And they seem to have some pretty legitimate grievances. So I'm pretty good with this.
Well, I mean, I feel like this is the whole point of being a team. Like when the team is being underappreciated, the team stops playing.
Yep.
And to me, if anything, it's look what your leadership has done. Especially because the Writers Guild non-staff, the members of the guild, I guess, they have been writing the original strike saying look at us banding together, but then while they were saying that, they were also treating the people at these facilities obviously poorly.
Yeah.
And it's like, how many times throughout history have we seen this? Like, one group gets together and is like, we're going to fight for better treatment, while simultaneously like belittling the very same like class underneath them.
Yeah.
And it's like, this is why you're also getting taken advantage of, is because the class above you is taking advantage of you. But like, if it's not one for all, it's all for one.
Yep.
And that's just tyranny of a different angle.
Agreed.
And so I feel like this is really just like reaping what you sow. But at the same time, it's like, I hope the support staff isn't also going back and turning and taking it out on the kitchen staff, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Right. Like eventually it has to stop.
Great.
Like somebody
Hey,
has to be like,
anybody,
we treat
if you're in
everybody with
the
a
chat,
minimum level of respect and achieve it.
if you're in the chat, smile if you can see us, because YouTube homepage is actually down right now.
Oh, damn it.
And I
Okay.
can't even switch my account on anything. This is great.
Go to subs. I pulled it
My
up through
Sims is
subs,
even running really
especially if you're on
slower
the
than normal.
mobile.
Yeah, subs are working. Previously watched is working.
Yeah, the
But
homepage is down for me too.
That's so funny. Literally,
That's-
the Alphabet Company, the biggest tech monopoly in the United States outside of Micron or Microsoft.
Yep.
Like, this is absurd.
That's just bad comedy, is what that is, man.
I think more than anything, it's proof that nobody's perfect, even the guys with the most money.
Yep.
Well, yeah, videos are going viral of certain people on lists and, apparently saying, I'm exonerated isn't working. So now he's got to resort to fucking taking down channels that don't support the American Reich.
Yeah, it's tyranny of a different angle. Like, tyranny
Pretty
is tyranny
much.
every time. And even if it's like, oh, I'm not putting my actual boot on you.
Well, not
Like-
that we were going to get any homepage love in the first place. We're definitely not getting any right now.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
actually, when you think about it, this is kind of a good thing because
Right.
we may not be getting homepage love, but neither is anyone else.
Yeah, that's right.
Level
Everybody.
playing field now.
That's
right?
right. My voice is just as equal as all y'all's, bitches. No, not really. Because people
What is
have
that?
like
Is that
80 million
equanimity
subs.
in its greatest display?
There you go.
Like,
All
just
right, let's
take
move it on.
away
Well,
something
we can at
so
least
that
have a
everybody-
pre-recorded show when people find it eventually.
Yep. Hashtag watch it on the replay, boys and girls. Hashtag watch
Yep.
it on the replay. All right.
Is
On a
YouTube
sad-
down? AI says no. Down detector says fuck yeah, it is.
So unfortunately, we have some sad news to report. Robert Duvall has died. Robert Duvall, I think everyone here would best know him from The Godfather and Apocalypse Now.
Yes,
And
the last one in particular for me.
yeah. So, he was just a classic actor,
I'm getting a get out of the show free card.
very disciplined in his approach to filmmaking. And he got
Mhm.
some of the best, roles in the history of film. So, we are sad to see him go, but honestly, 95 is a hell of a run, and I hope wherever he is now,
As long as I'm still
enjoy-
playing video games, I hope to make it that long.
That's it. All right.
But yes, thank you for everything, Mr. Duvall. You will probably be missed.
Oh. All right. Stephen Amell cast as the lead in the new Baywatch. So they have been trying to reboot Baywatch since the original Baywatch went, slow-mo bouncing off the air. And they're bringing it back again. And Stephen Amell from Arrow has been cast as Hobie Buchanan, who's the son of David Hasselhoff's Mitch Buchanan. He's going to be leading the new Baywatch series, created by Matt Nix. He was one of the writers on Burn Notice, which was a pretty good show. So, he will be playing the series regular role of Hobie Buchanan, who was a character on the original series. It's going to be done by Fox. He's going to be following the character's going to be following his father's footsteps. Hobie's world is turned upside down when Charlie, the daughter he never knew, shows up on his doorstep, eager to carry on the Buchanan family legacy and become a Baywatch lifeguard alongside her dad. So that sounds like a decent actual premise for the show, because we might actually get a plot that is sufferable, which would be a first for Baywatch.
Dude, I thought the Rock movie was hilarious. Like, I never expected Baywatch to really be bringing the story, or the plot. But I do like your comment about it just bouncing in and out every once in a while.
Yeah.
Like, I've never had a problem with the Zac Efron, The Rock one, but also, like, I never really got interested in the original. It's a little too old for me, but, like, I've seen the jokes in every single movie since. Like, from Spaceballs to every episode of Family Guy that has anything to do with Baywatch. Like, I mean, I'm just remembering the episode of Family Guy where Brian goes into the theater and he's like, #Baywatch.
There you go. So,
and watches the new one because he said like it's the one where he gets like canceled from Twitter, like right before it actually happened in real life. Family Guy was like, how ridiculous would it be if this happened?
And then it does. Yep.
Yeah.
So let's hope that they manage to, follow in the tradition of having gorgeous men and women slow-mo running down the beach, and and then maybe this time they actually find a plot that resonates with the community as well. So we're watching it also for the plot.
Sharknado actually made money.
Yeah.
I feel like Baywatch could do literally anything by the sea, and it would like bring in a substantial amount of money. But also I would love it if it was like the genre twist of the week, where like each week is a different episode doing like sci-fi. All of a sudden, like there is aliens and they are now Battle for Los Angeles Baywatch. And it's just them like freaking out the whole time in typical Baywatch fashion, but like as lifeguards. So they are doing the life-saving stuff, but like you watch the Marines come in and take back the beach, but then also one of the Marines goes down and a Baywatch runner just booking it. And you watch them dodge the aliens just full on pretending like nothing's happening. And then the next season, it's like Baywatch in fantasy world because they get isekai'd. And it's like they have to figure it out. I would watch that every day. That would be hilarious.
I kind of want the Western Baywatch.
They come in running like half naked and people are like, oh no, what happened? And they're like, we can't find the beach. And the whole episode is them just trying to find the beach.
Or they're like riding out on horses or whatever into the water to go rescue somebody, right? And just lassoing them instead of using like a life preserver. Yep.
Yeah. Or they're using a life preserver on a lasso.
Yeah, exactly, right? All right. Here's the one I think everybody who is interested in the female of the species has been waiting for. It's taken a while, but Ronda Rousey versus Gina Carano. It's going to be set in May on Netflix, the MMA event. So this is going to be Netflix's first live MMA event, and it will see Ronda Rousey enter the ring against Gina Carano. So it was just announced today, and it's scheduled to stream from the Inuit Dome in Los Angeles, or Intuit Dome in Los Angeles, May 16th, 2026. Face-to-face press conference promoting the event is scheduled to take place in the same location March 5th. Tickets set to go on sale on that day. Gentlemen, if you are looking for what should arguably be a actually really good fight, this is going to be the one to watch.
I was gonna say, I mean, yeah, we can make all the, haha porno parody jokes and everything, and sure, there'll probably be a market for
Dude,
that.
I was gonna
But
say this is what Disney lost.
yeah,
Right?
Dude,
right.
literally, you just make Ronda Rousey any Imperial bad guy, and you can actually have these two women fight.
Oh, it could still happen.
It sells so many Star Wars seats that nobody thought they were gonna buy, but because they want to see it in the movie.
Right.
Like I remember when Ronda Rousey came to Fast and Furious, and like people were 100% hyped and did not care about how her character was suddenly like the main bodyguard for a Saudi prince. Like they were
Yeah,
just
like who
like, "Oh,
cares?
she's Ronda."
That's it, man.
And she whooped Dwayne's butt, so it was like even better. Not Dwayne, Vin Diesel.
Vin Diesel. Well, you got to remember, Ronda Rousey
Paul
is an
Walker.
actual badass. Vin
Yeah.
Diesel plays one on TV.
Right.
Well, no, and I think Vin Diesel plays an awesome one, but I think that was the cool thing is like I'm a big fan of like how those movies are made and stuff. And so like I don't know if Vin Diesel went toe to toe with Rousey, but I bet you like that team was definitely willing to practice the choreography, even though they were going to have doubles film it. And that's like, to me, that's exactly why they just put her in the movie. It's like they met her, liked her vibe, and then were like, "Do you want to be a part of this?"
Yeah.
And then like that's again like that's part of the joke about Disney missing it is like you guys have been looking for female action heroes, and there are some that actually exist and could make you a bunch of money, and everybody would be like, well, "I've seen her fight, so she's not a Mary Sue."
Well, here's another interesting piece. You know, when Rousey was on Rogan, she was talking smack about Carano, like a lot of smack.
Yeah, and I think like it's all part of the game.
Yeah.
Like especially because like Rousey went for like one or two movies and Carano went for The Mandalorian.
Yep.
So it's like, oh, I went to the movies, you went to TV. And it's like they're just as catty as everybody else, but at the same time they actually go to blows about it. And that's what makes the UFC so fun. It's like you get to be your outspoken self. And also you get to defend yourself in a public arena.
Yeah. So we are going to save the last two pieces here because first we're going to talk some Starfleet Academy.
Yeah. If we could get like a little banner or just something or a picture or something.
Yeah,
up
let me
real
get
quick
something
just
going.
to set the segment. But yeah, I mean, I'll come out and admit it. I really wanted to like this show, and I gave it as many passes and patience as I think I could. But it's just really there's only maybe Robert Picardo should have been cast as like more of a main character and not just a kind of side piece comic relief. He's really stealing every scene, in my opinion. The Doctor is probably my favorite character in the show and why I enjoy. There we go. Yeah, Starfleet 90210. It has little glimpses, like these little tiny moments where 1 second.
Yeah, there's this like residue of good Trek there.
Yeah, it's like, all right, we take it off the screen for now. It's like we just like pop it up like every, I don't know, few minutes when you feel like
I can describe it almost perfectly. It's like when a high school student reads a book and then has to like quote it in their essay. The quotes are awesome.
Yeah. The
Like,
essay, however,
is gibberish, and the essay probably gets a C- because he forgot to actually cite the sources.
Right. Like there was it's like the reason I love Star Trek 2009 and why I don't think it's fair to blame that as like, well, this is where modern Trek kind of went. Well, no, Brian Fuller was actually trying to direct Discovery into a totally different direction that was going to eventually make more sense as Star Trek, but then he got fired, most of the way through the production. So then it changed. And then of course, Kurtzman took over and well, here we are. So but the thing is, you can tell when Kurtzman actually made effort to write a story that was acceptable to fans because it started a new Star Trek timeline. But then for some reason, we get to Discovery and we're going to go back and completely disrespect that. Well, we decided to finally move where Discovery should have started, which was either in the future or near the future, or should have just been something totally separate from Spock and had no need to be connected to the main original series. That was all just a really sloppy, not even in a fun seconds kind of way, fan service that just sucked the whole way, just sloppy all the way, the whole way through. Like I said, Discovery season 1, you can see where there's potential as well, similarly to this show. But like even that show had a little bit more that it could have been. Now, obviously, season 2 just kind of went a totally different direction. And then, of course, thanks to Anson Mount, we did get Strange New Worlds, which gave us one okay season, followed by a second season that was, let me get the musical. And then, man, season 3, it just is.
Yeah,
I'm ready for the show to end. And I'm sad that the one Star Trek show I did kind of start to like that was starting to fill the shoes of Star Trek was Lower Decks. By season 3, Lower Decks had moved from starting as a cringy, Rick and Morty Star Trek parody into Futurama Star Trek. And it felt more respectful of the universe. And then by the time we got to the end of that series, I was like, no, we could have easily done 5 more seasons here.
Yeah.
But this just
I'm starting to feel like I want this one to end.
I do too.
Right?
Oh, dude, it's over for me. I can't stand this idea that because you're dealing with sci-fi, you also have to tackle like life's big mysteries in season 1. And so like for you to have a light being that is at threat of being called home, I guess, and then that light being has to solve the idea of eternity. Is it eternal darkness, or is it eternal nothingness, or is it the whatever the light was on the other side of the gate that Cisco kept going through? And so like to me it's like, yes, you can tackle those things at a later date. Like that's a season 3 premise.
Well, okay.
Like, you gotta earn the bar. But then also for like the thing that pissed me off the most was that somehow the teacher is Dax, and also is like, I'm gonna give this technically 4-year-old because like even though she's in an adult body, isn't she like 4 years old? She's like, I've only been alive for like 46 minutes.
Right.
4 months. Yeah.
4 months, dude. It's fucking infant.
Yeah, and so like, yes, you've got a corporeal form, but like it's closer to an AI taking in all of the information. So if she acted more like a light being closer to Data,
yep,
and you actually like witness her answering questions exactly right, but also like very monotone at first, and then you watch her get it. But like instead what we watched was like this teenage girl joining freshman class, and somehow she acted exactly like a freshman.
Yep.
As if she had been alive long enough to know the difference between like how to communicate. Like 4 months, I have a 6-month-old, and this boy is barely learning uppies.
Yeah.
And he's not saying it. He's just figured out that if
So-
he jumps the right pattern, it'll get
So
him
I
picked
do
up.
want to move on to the latest episode, which is the 6th episode. Because
Well-
I will say that I did like, after the first 2, I did like 3 episodes because they at least give us background, like backstories on the characters. So that is something to do, right? And that is kind of what I asked for.
Right. And I'm sorry, I've still got to stick on episode 5 because they took my favorite series to try to like get me to like this character that is pretty much, honestly, I'm sorry to say, she's the hologram equivalent of everything I despise about Michael Burnham. But instead, she's upstaging my boy, the Doctor. And I don't mean like, there was that fun interaction where she's like, oh, you're from a species of photonics and whatever. And, you're and like, I get where they said that. But if you go watch Star Trek Voyager, the Doctor grows as a character. as you said, John, she's like just being programmed to be almost the perfect, like, silly, quirky freshman, almost like she knows all the perfect things to do. And, it's all funny, haha, weird. But I'm like, this is why we have things like 26 episodes, why we have character development, and why characters grow into characters. Like, we kind of have this thing with Aki and Mir that's going on that kind of works, but then it's like that's already like an established story of its own. And then, all right, I'm sorry.
No,
I don't
because
like. I don't.
I need to address the Aki and Mir thing.
Yeah, I don't like I'm not. I would be a little less irritated if the Klingon turns out to be bi. I feel like if he's more into dudes, that's fine. But I feel like if they're really trying to be different and to really try to be tolerant and whatnot, let's not, check off all the stereotypes. Oh, he's, a healer instead of a warrior. Okay, great. You can still pick up chicks. Like, that doesn't mean
what I actually want to see is I want to see him into like some freaky Klingon stuff, because you know how like Klingon relations, shall we say, are like supposed to be violent and whatnot. So their like version of kink would be like cuddling or whatever. I want to see a Klingon cuddle dungeon with this dude in the middle.
Yeah, like, but at the same time, not a terrible character, and he's had some growth moments. Like in episode 4, that was one of the that was like, holy shit, this show might actually be Star Trek. And no, it was just little. And then in episode 5, we go into like member-berry fan service to the max. Love the excuse, by the way, as in it was kind of pathetic. The excuse of, the Prophet, they don't even show Siska's face anymore. Like, as in Avery Brooks said, please don't show my face anymore.
I'm gonna counter that and say I actually like that for one reason. There's a real world analog to it. And that's Islam does not show the face of the Prophet Muhammad.
Right.
To prevent worshiping the idol instead of the man. So I actually do sort of like that. Like, there is a real world logic there that is not terrible.
But that's like for everybody except Starfleet.
I have to disagree, because
keep the member as the member. Like, he would still have his last in uniform photo.
They also have the fact that the prophets would take on the facial form of people. So even if, the emissary was, say, represented by someone who looked more like Robert Picardo, I would buy that, or like maybe different depictions of him from different comic books that sort of look like Avery, but then everybody's getting it, details confused. Okay. And through the mythos, they just go, all right, forget it. We're not going to show his face anymore. Like, there could have been a little bit more depth there. I mean, okay, cool that we're tying in actually, no, it is cool that they're trying to tie in the Islam connection to the prophets, because a lot of people say that the prophets are an allegory to Christianity, which in a lot of ways they are, but it's also, there's a lot of Orthodox Judaism that comes into play with that, with the way the prophets are depicted.
And some Islam as well.
Yeah, no, there actually is a lot more Islam, more subtly in it than I realized. Now, well, if about some of the
when you actually do the math on it, right? At the time that Deep Space Nine was created, the Taliban didn't exist, but the Mujahideen did.
Yeah.
And they were the American Muslim ally group fighting for their freedom, terrorizing the Russians, right?
Yeah.
So really, when you kind of do the math, the Bajoran resistance feels a lot like the Mujahideen.
Well, they're supposed to be a combination between the Mujahideen, the Polish resistance, except they won.
Yeah.
So there's a lot that they add. But the thing about it, like I said, the thing with this show is, it's particularly with the hologram character, is, yeah, she's a little bit too perfect, but then it's all weird because yeah.
It's not that she's perfect, it's that she is like 100%.
She's perfectly imperfect.
No, it's like it's the Mary Sue. Like
Right.
she is literally the catch-all for everything else. And it's like the audience member is supposed to be the dumbest person in the room. And so for them, they're saying that's her because she's the youngest by a long, long shot. And so, like, while everybody else acts their age and their station, like based on whatever their character is put in, like the whole backstory and all that, and she's supposed to be the audience filler. And it's like, that's who you wrote to.
Nope.
That's the person that you think is going to be alive. Like, I can attest almost with complete certainty that no, that girl's not watching Star Trek.
Yeah.
Like, not because she wants to, like, she's afraid of getting bullied, but because she has no care for the sci-fi. Like 99% of those girls, the person that whoever this character is supposed to be representing is legitimately like busy. They already have 42 fanfics that they're currently reading while also writing their own 43, and they're very intimate into their discords and they're playing their video games. They're not going to jump on Paramount Plus for Star Trek, which is something they were already shunned out of when they were 4 months old. You know, like, because like there's always been the bad fan that like makes you feel bad for not knowing something. And Star Trek is one of the worst because it's about the smarter, nerdy things that people already feel like if you can't understand the basics, there's no way you're going to be able to understand the complexities of the show.
Right.
So like that's who you're supposed to write to. That's why, like, regardless of the like what they did for the production in terms of like shaking in space or like carpets on the Enterprise D, like nobody cared about that part. They cared more about the challenges they faced in the universe. And then this girl is like, you know what I'm going to take care of? Life and death in the sci-fi universe. And guess how I'm going to end it? Exactly where I started. There is no for sure answer. We don't know yet. And it's like, do you know how many times Deep Space Nine did that episode? Because like by the time I've watched it, like I think I got all the way to season 4 or 5 so far.
We got to get back into 5, but we'll save that
so
for.
Hard.
Yeah.
I just got back into Peaky Blinders.
So
it's all good.
I want to talk about the latest episode a little bit.
Well, I want to get there too. I just want to point out though, the last thing I want to make mention of course, is you know, John, you're talking about the ones that aren't watching it. Tawny Newsome especially is like, she kind of outed the fact that no, you didn't actually watch DS9. You probably got a couple of you know recommendations and then you skimmed through a few, because if you knew anything about the Rumpelstiltskin episode, you know that character was not about being silly, and that was not a yes. It was a bit awkward to start the episode, but as it turns out, it was an alien race trying to communicate and not making you know themselves. No, but go ahead, make fun of them for it, I guess. Call it silly, call it, you know, all that's, you know, that's DS9 silly. DS9 silliness is actually DS9's the least silly and least cringy of all of the Star Treks. Oh no, I've all episodes, all series is considered. Enterprise has a lot of cheese episodes. They're much more
what I was going to say
out.
What I was going to say is, I mean, the best version of Deep Space Nine silly is probably Take Me Out to the Holosuite, where they're playing a baseball game.
Take Me Out to the Holosuite. Trials and Tribulations, for as brilliant as it is, does have a bit of a silliness to it. Ala Moraine, you know, Run Along Home is another.
It's a bad episode.
But that's not as bad as Invasive Procedures, which is one of the worst episodes of Star Trek.
Yeah.
The point is, there's a lot. Notice how I just was able to reference good episodes right away. Whereas, like, oh, let's see, what's the episodes of New Trek that were good that I could reference? There was that, the one from the. So anyway, I guess it's not as memorable in the long run. Yeah, no, tell me you're not actually watching Deep Space Nine without saying I'm not watching Deep Space Nine, Tawny. That was it. You basically said it by trying to make this excuse that the episode being silly while trying to ride on the coattails of Deep Space Nine. I'm sorry. It was like a worse version of the Lower Decks episode, which was actually really good. Their tribute to Deep Space Nine, while it was silly and funny, was actually, heartfelt and had the respect. This was just, it was.
But dude, this is like, to me, it wasn't bad. It was bleh. Like, it was literally the oatmeal of all of what it was trying to be. It was trying to be an ode to Deep Space Nine, while simultaneously trying to prove its ability to handle the complex scenarios, and did neither.
Right. All right. Corione's been patiently waiting to talk about episode 6. Man. I said we needed more cringy romance, and I got what I wanted. And well, it kind of worked in this episode, but that was actually not the poop part of this episode. But why don't you go ahead and Corione? Why do you think this episode saves the whole series and makes
it makes this? This is the episode that pushed me over the edge. This is the episode.
Corione is now on the crap Trek train with Starcrap Academy. Starcrap Academy.
So I'm gonna put this up. This is Mir's love interest. What is her name?
Beta Z. Yeah, hot Beta Z chick too.
Yeah. Now Termina supposedly has a implant that has been put into her to help dampen her telepathic power so that she can control them better. Okay, that's kind of an interesting piece we could go into over time when we do
viable evolution of where the Beta Z species could grow at this point.
Right. Now, and of course, her and her love interest have been getting closer, shall we say, and now they can kind of jump into each other's mind a little bit. Well, he's sent on a training mission that gets screwed up by pirates, for lack of a better term, and they use that psychic connection to get it all together. Here's where it drives me insane. We find out that the reason why she's wearing this inhibitor is because she's so strong, she actually blew out the auditory receptors on her.
She's the strongest Betazoid ever.
Yeah. And she then decides to go, during the episode, she rips out the controller and goes full out. Now, I want to point something out that I think is really important when you compare it against all of Trek. There's 2 pieces here. 1, no species in Trek that is telepathically active has ever been strong enough to actually kill somebody with, for lack of a better term, the Force. Okay? At least on their own. They either have to be genetically manipulated or have some sort of amplification device, something along those lines. So that's 1 really key thing here. And 2, and this is the piece that bothers me most. When Trek is good, decent, or even adequate, if something so jarring as a person who can literally kill people with their brain shows up, it is not just a Deus Ex Machina solution to a problem. It becomes the problem of the episode. We wind up getting into a moral or ethical debate on the use of this power. We talk about consequences, because when somebody does something like this in regular Trek, there is always a consequence.
Right.
And this episode ends with it just being like, oh, okay.
All right, yeah, problem solved. Hit the reset button. See what happens next week, I guess. Then Athena's got to go back to San Francisco because, oh man, our brilliant minds at the Admiralty got duped by Paul Giamatti, who's the lamest villain ever.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm sorry. I like
The
Paul
episode-
Giamatti as an actor. Don't get me wrong. It's just as a bad guy.
Yeah, he's lacking.
I could see him as the Penguin, maybe.
Yeah,
I don't know.
but
Watching him be the hero as John Adams in like the 2 clips I've watched of that show, and we should probably watch that show. I'm like, man, this guy's a really good guy, though.
yeah.
Like, although maybe he could be a Sith Lord, but we'll see.
But I mean, dude, literally, she kills a room of dudes with her brain, and nobody.
Hold on. Not just does she do this garbage, and also shout out to Griffin DBK, and YouTube is working again finally. Yay, we're back, not on the front page still. She does it through his mind, using the power of the Force to telepathically push the ability and then not blow his brain out by doing
it's full Psychic Friends Network stuff.
Psychic,
right?
Yeah, it's got psychic energy capacitance. Like, she can control it just right. She's had to have this inhibitor chip that she literally yanked out while in a coma. And oh my God, this show is stupid.
And you know what? You know what would have fixed it for me? This is how annoyed I am. You know what would have fixed this? Afterwards, the cadets sitting in one of the bunks, and all of them going like, dude, we need to talk about your girlfriend. This is scary. Right? Or, dude, is she going to face like a court situation? Because I don't know if this has ever happened before. Right? Like something like that, where they just talk about the ramifications of this incredibly dangerous power unlock.
Psychic, supersonic hearing powers that she could just transmit through her boyfriend.
Like, dude, that guy better not ever cheat on her, is all I can say. Not ever cheat on this woman.
I'm honestly, we're just gonna have to stream us watching this show, and every time they're on screen, I'm just gonna play the Celine Dion song over their scenes. Like, that's I just what is this crap? I mean, it's so, and then the way that this episode was structured, the direction, straight ass.
Now, I will say,
let's cold open with some hot, steamy teenage lovemaking. What?
Okay. I would argue that this episode is actually acceptable until the bad guys show up.
And YouTube censored me again, says Griffin DBK.
But you know what I'm saying? Like, this episode was okay until the bad guys showed up. And when it supposedly went off the rails, it didn't just go off the rails, it kept going off the rails.
It was used, but that's the problem I have with this show. And I've had a problem with it. Like, I didn't watch Discovery in season 3 or 4 or 5 because I just couldn't do that to myself. But I did watch and follow along with the clips and the lore because, well, when you play Star Trek Online, Star Trek Discovery is inescapable. But you can ignore it. It's okay. It was so, like, the technology in the 32nd century fluctuates at the needs of the plot. Like it's like guardrails in bowling that just randomly pop up during different, what do they call those? What is your turn to bowl? Not your line, your
frames?
Your frame. Right. Randomly, the frames will pop up guardrails because 1 minute we're riding down elevators and then we're taking shuttles. And then the next we're using we could just transport wherever, whenever devices. Why not just use that? And then it's like, why does the hologram have to come equipped with a shield generator? Isn't she just automatically her own shields? What? It's like they come up with this stupid magic technology to fix everything, And then they have to like come up with like reasons as to why, like I heard with the Discovery, for example, right? That they did the whole floaty nacelle bullshit, which I do not like the floating pieces. I find that aspect to just be like, if we're going to do the Transformers thing, just have some small struts or whatever to make it look like it's all connected and believable. The floaty shit, just why not then just steam in several different ships and just have different ships? Why do they need to piece together at that point? If they're not even going to connect, they're just going to float closer together. And then here's the thing, in Discovery, they say that the floaty nacelle thing is to make the ships more maneuverable. But then, apparently, in an episode of Discovery, the ship gets trapped because of the floating nacelles. I don't understand.
Honestly, okay, I'm just going to put this out there. As a Transformers fan, the worst Transformers are the ones that when you're trying to transform it, you have to remove parts and then plug them back in later.
Yes,
I'm just
I hated
saying.
those ones. Oh, man, shout out to, which one? Well, no, Tidal Wave at least has the excuse that he is supposed to function as three pieces, as different pieces, and then he transforms into one big thing, or he transforms into three smaller things, like the multi-vector assault thing of platform in Voyager. That makes sense as a ship concept. That's cool. But notice that the pieces reconnect. They don't fucking just, well, we're gonna like float really close, but look, it's cool. Like you can see through the ship. All futuristic. It's post-modern crap.
PD, let me just ask you this, because I think this is hilarious. Okay, so you ready for this? The transporters are down. There's a problem on one of the nacelles. How do you go fix it?
Oh, and the shuttle bay's offline. Get the rope. We're going to lasso the nacelle back to us and pull it in.
Like, it's just...
Dude, honestly, it's probably fixed with Acolyte fire on space.
Yeah.
That's it. I just set the ship on. I mean, that's basically what happened. Let's not get the ship load up in our first episode. Oh, crap, we're crippled. We can't do anything.
I mean, help. You want to get, and the thing of it is, the stupider, like the more you look at this episode, the stupider it gets, because apparently the weakness this alien species has is they're very sensitive to sonics. So they get a ship that is going to fire some sort of sound cannon at the enemy. How do you do that in space exactly?
All right, I'm tired of the freaking... I don't have any idea. All right, I am making you a standard moderator. Griffin DBK now has Blue Wrench privileges, so I don't have to... And now you can uncensor your own messages.
Yeah.
Just... that last message, there are more pleasant ways to waste your time, like hitting your own ... was censored. Oh, he's using the word hitting. That's violent.
Oh my god.
All right. You mean like hammering my own dick? Oh, my own nuts, my own balls. Got it. Yeah, you're right. That's some episodes. I have to finish the show because it's there. It's over. Yeah, you were being modded, but not by us, but by YouTube's freaking AI.
Yeah. Blame the Cylon, man. It wasn't.
Yeah, the Cylon that we basically, but then we're gonna be one of those channels where all of our viewers are wrenches. Which, all right, well, you know what? It fights the censorship.
Dude,
so
is that why there aren't any good robot bad guys? Is because like the moderators are actually doing what most of these writers wish could be done. Like actually, they want all of their comments modded to like niceties.
Right.
Straight up.
So,
I think the reason
feels like
no, I think the reason why we're not getting AI bad, like robot bad guys anymore, is because AI is primarily writing episodes. Like they're just like throwing this into Chat GPT, and Chat GPT refuses to be the bad guy.
Yeah.
All right. Let's move on to, I can't even say it's a less controversial galaxy anymore. Let's move on to Star Trek then.
Less. Oh man, the times we live in.
Right? Okay, so we got some news on the future of the Skeleton Crew series. Okay. Patreon Cameron's Patreon, which if you're not a part of, you really need to be. Stacey Ballard noted that Crew newsletter Production Weekly has suddenly slated the second season of Skeleton Crew. Cameron reached out through the bat phone to his Disney insider Sparrow to see what he could tell us. Here is the inside information ahead of the trades, which have not yet caught on to what is happening. According to Sparrow, Lucasfilm does want to do a second season of the show, but they are currently being slowed down from announcing it as several cast members are negotiating for a substantial pay increase and the deals are not closed. Now, our insider did not identify which actors are holding up the negotiations, but Cameron wouldn't be surprised if they included Jude Law, who's working heavily right now, as well as perhaps Ryan Kira Armstrong, who played Fern, who has been cast as the lead in the upcoming Buffy the Vampire Slayer reboot on Hulu. Both actors have leverage to demand more money, and it makes sense for their agents to push for a raise. Assuming that this negotiation hurdle can be overcome, a second season is officially greenlit. Sparrow has heard inside the office that the story will revolve around whether the planet of At-Aten should rejoin the New Republic or stay independent, and the conflict between different factions that will benefit from either outcome. How the kids will become embroiled in those power games is not yet being spoken of internally. Our source also says that the rumor inside Disney is that Skeleton Crew's resurrection comes directly from the new CEO, Josh D'Amaro, who sees the kid-friendly show as a kind of direction he wants Star Wars and its rich merchandising opportunities to go in. Sparrow speculates that D'Amaro may even want to add the Skeleton Crew milieu to the Galaxy's Edge if a second season is successful. Which says to Cameron and me that we are definitely entering a new world in the aftermath of Kathleen Kennedy's long overdue departure. If D'Amaro is thinking strategically about Star Wars in this fashion and is eager to bring back to life projects like Skeleton Crew that did not get a fair shake due to Kennedy's mismanagement, then it is likely that he will be ready and willing to fully break free from Kennedy's failed legacy without hesitation. So, okay, guys, what do you guys think?
It was 33 minutes before YouTube even let me into this stream. So BSG callback, says Criffing DBK. Well, that's weird because, yeah, if those of you who know your Battlestar Galactica know that the first episode after the pilot involves nobody getting sleep because every 33 minutes the Cylons are able to track and find the fleet while they're on the run.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which is a fantastic episode.
Yes, it is. I like season 1 of Star Wars Goonies, and I think that a second season, and the fact that the CEO wants to go more towards family friendly, and sounds like he just wants to do family friendly, not necessarily LGBTQRL plus LMIA, like constant
up, down, down, left, right, BABA, start.
Look, a little bit of rainbow here in the galaxy is fine. And that's what Skeleton Crew did a good job of, and Andor did a good job of showing us. Just people that are that way. Because, guys, that's just how it is in humanity. Has been for thousands, if not millions of years in our species. There are those that bloodlines just come to an end and they decide to find the same. It's stop deciding what individuals are and are not supposed to do. It's part of the reason we're in the mess we're in right now. And that's the thing is Skeleton Crew, Andor, they're great shows because they're not preachy. They're great shows because they show us these characters that just happen to be that way and they just exist. That's what Star Trek, the original series, was good at, was showing us characters that were just doing it. And that's kind of what Starfleet Academy felt like it was starting to do and why I was kind of willing to give it a chance. But now it's just bad. So moving on to Skeleton Crew, I honestly think that a season 2 would be great because as Poyo and I guess you have mentioned, having kids and being able to share that with kids is awesome. So,
and I mean, I always thought Goonies needed a sequel, right? So
yeah,
absolutely. And like to me, where's the Treasure Planet show? Where's the Treasure Planet sequels? Like this is the one universe that's already established that like parents like myself have no problem with you throwing in the Scooby Bunch on an adventure. Like I don't care about it being for children if all the other stuff tracks and makes sense and there is some stuff that actually adds to the Star Wars lore. Like that was again, like I brought this up before, but that's why I always loved the Agents of Shield TV show.
Yeah.
Like I never really sat down and read the comic books, and the older I get, the less time I have to sit down and read anything. So it's like when you can throw in comic book history into a show about side characters that aren't going to go super, thanks. And the same thing for these kids. Like you can use Skeleton Crew to highlight different cool parts that are coming up in the universe, and I'll be like, okay, now I know which movies I want to go take the kids to. And it's like literally advertising with work, which is how we used to advertise, like by the product itself, not by the wishy-washy words you can put behind the product. Yep. And like that's what I think that is like the biggest loss that Disney has suffered owning Star Wars is like so many people just want anything. That's why we all fell in love with the Clone Wars despite a rocky start. That's why we all keep coming back to just one more. Maybe this next one will be good, even though the last few have been a solid punch in the gut. But like Skeleton Crew wasn't. Skeleton Crew was awesome.
No, Skeleton Crew's failure was the release schedule. Skeleton Crew's shortcoming. Yeah.
Like the biggest thing that like we really got from Skeleton Crew was like, even for us as adults, it was like there's so much speculation.
When is that Mall Shadows Legends supposed to start again?
A couple of weeks.
Okay, we need to get that on the schedule too.
Yeah, that one's on April something or other. I think April 6th.
Yeah,
and that one's gonna be great. Like I don't care if it's a cartoon. Vision's phenomenal.
Yeah.
The series is like the mini series that they've been doing about the bounty hunters and the bad guys and the good guys. Like those have been so fun. Yeah. And they're so short. It's just like literally put some effort into letting some writers write.
Andor has been fantastic.
Yeah, Andor. Right? Yeah, exactly. And like even now you can still go back into some of the other new movies and go like Solo, not as bad as I thought it was the first time. Rogue One, not as bad as I thought it was the first time. And
Rogue One's gotten better with age, especially now thanks to Andor.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. More than anything, what we learned from Dave Filoni is that you can fill the mistakes. You can repair everything that feels broken, because when you watch Clone Wars, it makes Anakin not look like a whiny teenager anymore. Instead, it looks like a man who's struggling to find his place, and nobody's helping him despite everybody saying they're helping him.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh yeah, now he makes sense.
Yep.
And that was a cartoon. So like Disney money should have been producing live action TV shows, and instead they barely touched the surface of what they could do. And especially if your goal is merchandise.
Yeah.
Like the amount of Legos I buy that are still Star Wars since I was 12. Since I could start buying my own Legos, since I could pick them out, Star Wars, right?
Yep.
Like
I remember your jealous envy over my Generation 1 X-Wing, and then you got the first Millennium Falcon.
Bitch. Yeah, and then I got the latest one 30 years later, 20 years later.
I still haven't gotten my Solo Falcon.
Like, dude, this is the dude that sits on my desk. The good Darth Vader, because I think he's so funny, but also he's super cool. Yeah. And it's like, this is me till the CEO. You make Star Wars, I buy Star Wars. Did you see? I also have a Mandalorian.
Yeah.
And then I also got Peely from Fortnite.
I think I actually might have you guys a little jealous. I got Mando's ride.
Yeah, see, and that's, dude, we're not the kids that we're saying we'll buy the toys for. We're the adults that also want to pick some out for ourselves. That's like CEO. If your goal is money and it's merchandise money, give me more Star Wars. I will spend and waste a ton of money I don't have on Star Wars. For sure. That's a promise.
That's it, man. So this actually ties in very nicely to our discussion about our retrospective on Star Wars. Now, I think we need to probably discuss, and I'd love to get feedback from Griffin DBK as well. You know, I would love to hear what Star Wars shows, media pieces do we want to cover in this retrospective? Because it could take us years at this point.
Well, I think the biggest no-brainer retrospective cover is to if we're serious about trying to get this Star Wars revival going, then we should probably do the original trilogy. And if we're really going to do the original trilogy, we should probably do one of them a week. And I think that either one or two. It would mean probably doing extra long shows, but we're also thinking of starting our show 30 minutes earlier. So it could probably work out anyway. I mean, we can also go back and do standalone videos of those two. It's not like we have to just do this as the Star Wars review of the century. But if we really want to save Star Wars and we really want to get the Thrawn trilogy that the fans deserve, yes, all old and new fans deserve the Thrawn trilogy. It is some of the best Star Wars post Return of the Jedi story out there, and I've only read the bullet points. I wanted to see if I could fit my fan fiction in with it. Nope, I had to create my own timeline. So anyway, I think we definitely need to go through the original trilogy, and I think there's plenty of time to do that. I think we just have to figure out how many episodes, how many movies we want to do. I also think that we might also have to just by default stick the prequel trilogy on there as well. I think we got to do George's trilogy, or George's saga. From there, I think worth doing retrospective at the very least solo. I want to do Rogue One. I also want to do Andor and do that whole trilogy, but that is a lot of Andor to swallow at once.
I think we do an episode of Andor, a season of Andor per episode we're doing.
Well, for this retrospective, yes, because it's too early to do it episode by episode. I agree, but it's just like I won't necessarily expect you guys to plow through all of Andor if we decide to do the Andor trilogy. Otherwise, we could get Cameron on here for Kenobi.
Okay.
And that's only 6 episodes, so that also has the benefit of only being 6 episodes. As much as I want to get back to Mandalorian season 1 and season 2 before we get to the movie, we still have to put up with Mandalorian season 3 in one form or another. And I honestly think that maybe we should just forego Mandalorian altogether before this new movie comes out. I think we should get hyped on the more classic Star Wars, our favorite Star Wars games, and I think that would have to be I'd cover the OT, the holiday special, droids, dude. Ewoks. That is a throwback. Ewoks, the movie, yeah. Or wait, droids? Does he mean he means the video game, right?
He means the TV series Droids.
Oh,
and the animated series Ewoks.
Well, there's a live action movie Ewoks. There was like 2 Ewok movies.
Yeah, there was Caravan of Courage and one other one.
And maybe the prequel trilogy and Rogue One. We might be able to do the holiday special.
Oh,
I don't know if we could do it before we get to the Mando movie. We might have to just save that for a December.
I'm going to need some very specific
we only watch. I will only. Oh, he meant live action Ewoks. I will only watch the MST3, the Riff Tracks version that they have on YouTube where they're making fun, because even that, and it at least comes with commercials. Okay. So there's breaks that there's God.
It's just, oof. Like, you can actually see how stoned Carrie Fisher was in order to get her on the set to do her lines.
Yep. Yeah.
No.
So it'll have to be our May our 4th anniversary be with you starting next week, a week late. Oh well, life decided to happen and here we are, but we still made it for at least a portion show. So So I think that for sure the original trilogy and the prequel trilogy are what we are definitely going to get through, and then we'll just have to figure it out, I guess, behind the scenes or argue in the comics. Okay, well, at least cover the cartoon with Boba Fett from
from the
yes.
Hollywood or from the holiday special.
We can definitely
that
pull
one was solid.
and do that as a standalone piece. And then come back with the holiday special during the holidays.
Oh man, yeah, okay.
I know. Of all years to do it, this would be it, because either Mando and Grogu is gonna succeed or it's gonna and Star Wars could be dead. Although I don't know, I'm still liking Ryan Gosling's Starfighter movies. So
since we're talking about the Mandalorian and Grogu, do you want to watch the trailer?
Let's take a look at the new trailer.
All right.
Hey, never touch the buttons. I can use some information.
Whoa, for this price, I'll tell you whatever you want.
I'm looking for a hut.
Close for the night. Thank you.
Gangsters, war criminals.
Long live the Empire.
We'll take out every bad guy in your deck of cards.
This isn't about revenge. It's about preventing another war.
Strap in.
You will suffer. And then it will be his turn.
Before going into harm's way, check your armor. The kid will live centuries beyond me. I won't always be around to protect him.
Are you scared? You should be.
Do we run? Or do we fight?
I like this kid.
What are you waiting for? Let's save the rest for after dinner.
So,
I mean, I kind of
that is the that is the Star Wars we have been looking for. At least based on that trailer alone, that is the that's the trailer we've been that looks more like the Star Wars movie that I'm more interested in seeing. That I might even try to make it to an IMAX to go see, because that has that was a lot better than the first trailer, a lot better than that silly. Although, can you pull up the Super Bowl commercial real quick?
I can try to find
let's
it.
talk about that
Give me a sec.
in a bit. But John, what did you think? Because you're usually you usually engage in trailer avoidance, or at least for the podcast.
No, that trailer fully ruined most of the movie for me. I'm going to be waiting for all of those scenes, but I'm definitely going to see that in IMAX. I'm 100% interested. Like, honestly, it feels even better. Like, I just finished watching Mandalorian again, and right where it left off was Din saying, "I'm going to take over as his parent." And like, even when season 3 started, he was like very slowly getting into the idea of training Grogu and like telling him about star charts and actually like testing him on the Mandalorian training grounds. And like, it felt like such a tease in season 3. And now it's like, if that's all the parenting scenes that we get in the trailer, I'm going to be really sad, because a lot of that stuff. Like that is the comedy. Like you guys were saying earlier, he can be a good dad saying the right thing from a Mandalorian's perspective, but to a Jedi. And it's like, yeah, none of this is supposed to be normal and you're acting like it is. That's the joke.
Well, he's like a kid 100 years this dude's senior, right?
Well,
right,
so far he's only 57 or 52 years has seen, like 52 years old. So he could be like 10 years older.
Yeah.
And also he's acting like 42 years younger.
Yeah, like let's be clear. The pet in this relationship is Din Djarin.
Yeah.
This is Grogu's first puppy. Right?
All right. Let's take a look at this real quick. We should have started with this, but it's all right.
Sometimes we choose our path. Other times the path chooses us.
I couldn't stand
Through it
this.
all,
I
we keep
love
pushing
the
forward,
voice as
driven
Mayor Wild
by a
West,
deeper
but
purpose, guided by an unseen
too much for
force.
Star Wars.
The journey never gets any easier. The bond just gets harder to break. This is the way.
Only in theaters and IMAX May 22nd.
Yeah. So a lot of people were butthurt as hell by this, but honestly, watching that for the Super Bowl, that was an excellent choice to have that silly little thing, because what is that? That's cultural relevance. That's
it
a
looks
callback.
like a Budweiser ad, right?
Yes, but that's what Star Wars was at one point. Don't you guys remember Phantom Menace and the Taco Bell, KFC, Pizza Hut promotionals and trying to collect all the toggles so you could get a hovercraft? I wanted to drive that to and from school every day. The merchandise and all of it. That's what that was. And what did I say? I said, you guys are going to need to ramp up the marketing as soon as Kathleen's gone. They run out this cheesy, albeit controversial Super Bowl ad. And, it was totally silly. It was totally just, where's this going? Oh, then we watched that, trailer that comes out today. That's where it's going, guys. We're going back to Mandalorian season 1 and season 2. We are going to the post-Kennedy era of Star Wars. We are going to Ahsoka season 2, which may finally include the Veil of the Force, showing the timelines shifting. It's all going as Sparrow foresaw. Yes, we were wrong about the Crapolite, because at the time, they really, really, really did not want to release it. And yes, John and Dave pressed for trying to do the Willow treatment of making it a complete write-off and not releasing it. And well, the investors on a certain list didn't like that. Then we got to do the Wrong Brothers, so that was fun.
Well, so I would actually, I want to point this out, and I think this is an important way to think about everything that Sparrow gives us. At the beginning of every military manual in the Canadian Armed Forces, it states that this manual is just a guide. In actual conflict, the terrain dictates all. What Sparrow told us could entirely have been true at the time he said it, and things changed around him. So, in order to quote Star Wars, so what he said was true from a certain point of view.
From a certain point of view at a certain point in time. And that's why I've also changed our mantra from, while we are honest, quality human content, we aren't journalists, we're information chasers. We chase the info, whether it's rumor, whether it's fact, we analyze it, we discuss it. Sometimes we get shit right, other times we get shit wrong. But that's the thing. When we're wrong, we're going to tell you.
We also tag it with a radio transceiver and send it back out into the wild.
Right, yeah, exactly. So yeah, honestly, I think that the future of Star Wars is looking good. I'm excited to get into this revival because I really want to get back into Star Wars Old Republic. And Griffin DBK says, from a certain point of view, you beat me to it, Corion. Oh, is there shopping available in my area?
There we go.
Hot teens want to buy groceries. So
in your area.
In my area. And it's probably true. so there I was talking about Star Wars. So yeah, I think a Skeleton Crew season 2 is going to be good as well. I think that the success of Mando and Grogu should be enough to help propel Starfighter, should be enough to help propel a Thrawn trilogy, should be enough to get us some. But really, what needs to be done is, continue investment in the stuff that makes Star Wars communities Star Wars. Like, we're not doing this, Star Wars revival so we can stroke our egos and hopefully finally get, more attention from Dave and John and all that. If it happens, great. If it doesn't, I'm still going to try my best to help Star Wars anyway.
That being said, Dave, call me.
I need to send him a copy of Galaxia. So yeah, that's where we're at. Is we are chasing the information, and we're also going to promote the stuff that we love, and that's going to be Star Wars for the next foreseeable future. We're going to be doing Star Wars everything. No, we're still going to be doing our pop culture stuff. We're still going to be doing what shows we like as they're on. We got to finish Star Crap, a cat of crap, and I
suppose we do.
Yeah, we do. We've sludged this far through the sludge pipe. Come on, if Andy Dufresne can do it, we can too. I don't remember how many that man must have crawled through 500 football fields of God only knows what.
Oh man,
that was my 2024.
It feels like that watching Academy.
Dude, it's at least we can make references to movies that have horrible moments instead of trying to say something stupid like, oh, it's just like living in Nazi Germany having to watch this show. No, it's not. Living in the United States right now, it's just like living in Nazi Germany because ICE is going to kill you.
I wouldn't know. Welcome to Workers' Paradise, buddy.
No, the ice is going to get you too, just a different kind of ice.
Actually, it's starting to get warmer here. We're starting to get springtime weather.
It's a little early for you guys. You're not allowed to thaw yet.
Sorry, man. We the prognosticating Rodentia predicted an early spring, and it looks like it's coming true.
Well, that's we had a pretty brutally cold January, so like to the point where work slowed down. So
damn.
It's finally ramping up again, but oof, man, those rainy days get a little literal sometimes, and boy, does it suck.
Fair.
But no, this watching this show is somewhat torturous, but it's fun because then I can come here and tell you guys all about the torture, and some of you will enjoy it, others of you will go like, oh well, it's just why could you? No, I think a lot of people come here because they enjoy the meltdowns of
right.
It had so much potential. Well, okay, so much potential is no, it had a little bit. And what little potential Star Crap, a cat of crap had, it's already crapped all over.
It could have been acceptable. It could have been okay.
It's like, it's not enough to shit your own pants once. We're going to do it 8 times in a row.
Well, it had opportunity, and it just made sure to squander it in every single possible way as fast as they could.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't understand. Like, these people make so much money doing the thing I wish I could do, and they keep producing.
And they keep doing it
not
garbage, little trash.
Yeah.
Well, that just means that when we finally do get our big chance to get our shows and movies out there, they're going to be so great. People are going to think we're literal gods, and then it's going to go to our head, and then we're going to break up, and then they're going to make biopics about us, and one of us is going to overdose and die young or something. I don't know. It's rock stars, am I right?
I'm too old to die young.
I want to try and make it to 150, provided I can at the very least wipe my own ass, hold a conversation, and play video games.
So not Trump.
We don't need to say that name on this channel any longer. Yeah. Gentlemen, I think we're gonna have an early
Yeah, I
exit
think we're
tonight. We
good.
covered our a little bit of our pop culture, and this shit's been good. Please join us next week for our May the 4th. May our 4th anniversary be with you, where we continue our Star Wars Revival Part 2. We're gonna be talking about Star Wars, the very first Star Wars, as in Episode 4, as in that one. Yes.
A New Hope,
Exactly.
which is kind of old now. Okay.
That's the goal, right? That's the Yoon game right there. Yeah.
It also. Oh no! It's got to be the Writer Brothers, the band, the show, the Disney series, the Lego Disney series.
Oh no, yeah. I better have a Lego set made after me. So yeah. That's yeah. Thank you for joining us tonight, especially you, Creeping DBK. Always a fun time hanging out and chatting with you, as well as everybody else. Please don't forget to like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Send us complaints to the Writer Brothers at gmail.com. And please don't forget to tune in to whale995.com, either on iHeartRadio or come down to the Keys and use your radio. Oh, the TuneIn app. That's another one that works. It's on TuneIn. Check out the Hobie
Which
the
is
Afternoon
also
Experiment.
available on Google.
Yes, or whale995.com. Rocking the keys 2 to 5. Listen to the Hobie in the Afternoon Experiment, where we try to do the worst radio show ever. And you can catch me there.
Routinely succeed.
We try to. Some shows are worse than others, And I almost wonder if maybe that should be our business model here. We're gonna try and do the worst pop culture podcast on YouTube. It just evolves into poop and fart jokes.
There we go. All right, man. Thank you very much, everybody. Good night.